Hey there, YouTube. It is February 24th, 2025, and I just want to go over the work I've done for the past few days. I did work over the weekend, but kind of short, small bursts, and I didn't take the time to record. But what we accomplished in that time is pretty cool. So, first thing we did is for our body here, for the character, we've actually gone ahead and split the character into two materials. So, two main reasons for that, and they all kind of have to do with our UV editing here. So let me select just one of the materials. So we have the body and the head. If I select the body, and we're looking at this material, you can see now that I have them filling up this half, and that's because I'm using this mirror modifier here. And so when this modifier is applied, our UV islands are flipped to the other side. And so this means I'm filling up this whole space, and I flip to the other side. And certain things like the body, the front's gonna be nicely mirrored and touching because it's right in the middle, right where the flip occurs. And then we also have the same thing with the face. Now the main reason for this is just to increase the amount of resolution we can paint the characters with, because it was a little bit low. And this also does include the teeth and tongue and up here. So I go down there and I select all the head materials. You can see we have the teeth, we have the mouth interior, we have got the gum lines, the tongue, and all of these things fill the space. And again, it flips it to the other side, mirroring it. So very, very useful. And now we can get higher resolution on the face, higher resolution on the body. It's not too much more expensive in the scheme of things. And we can show you, and we'll get back to this in just a second. A lot of updates. This will be a longer video. But if we look at Nora's body, we can see two materials loaded in. So the two main things we did, again, is put all the islands on one side and then separate the head and the body. Now, the main impact of separating things is, again, just increased resolution. You can kind of see like how these lips get these lip lines, the pores on the face. You can see these small little veins and stuff like that. All of those crisp details are now there because it's a separate material. And I can actually turn it off. So you can see that, visualize that again. And of course the body is looking good. Now the additional part is because before I had instead of flipping things, everything was kind of overlapped. So when I'd paint one side of the body, it would appear on the other. And that's not good because honestly, it just kind of takes away. So it looked a lot more like this. So I paint one side, it appears on the other. But now, that is not the case. I can paint on just one side of the body. So if I want a tattoo on one arm or a tattoo on the other, or other asymmetrical details, I have that possibility, or even asymmetric modeling, such as distorting the face and things like that. All of that becomes a little bit easier to set up. And yeah, so that's the main effort on texturing. The texture is looking super good. Definitely spent some time cleaning it up, learning how to paint things properly. The ears are looking really nice. And I think we're kind of getting close to good to go on the texturing. And moving forward, all my characters will have this. Now, the other thing I did that's kind of a mix of texturing and editing is working on the hair. So one of the main things I just spent some time on is getting the hair looking correct, because there's just a few things that affected the visual quality of the hair. First was that it was very uneven. You can see here on this character, it's very sharp, very, we can see exactly where the hairline is, hair part. And a big part of that is because I've created some geometry nodes that allow me to work. So you can see that there's this shape under here. And when I edit this shape, so if I move it around, you can see it's automatically adjusting the hair. And there's a lot more flexibility to this in the long run, but we can make a lot will be so much easier than doing the grooming, because that's just very time consuming. I don't want to have to go through and change each strand. I know the general shape, especially for long hair like this, super easy. That's already kind of a shell. Anyway, and then I can always edit my strands that are appearing here. So for example, here, I can tweak it, kind of change if I wanted to introduce some bends in it or fluff on a per strand basis. I can do that. Additionally, I can also include multiple strands. So let's say, for example, on this one, let's flip it around 180 degrees. You can see how some are one of the strands and some are the other. And this is super, super useful for just allowing me to create a bunch of variation. Right now it's a little rough because I didn't design this with that in mind, but just to show you the example, and just automatically updates, which is amazing. Additionally is the normal. So you'll notice that looking at the hair, it looks smooth, and that is because I'm actually adding this editing here. So before it looked like this, the light was catching on all these little slivers of geometry, these intersections and stuff, but now it's just quite smooth, and the lighting kind of behaves a lot more naturally, because it may seem unnatural at first because we think of hair as strands, but really hair is very soft looking. It kind of picks up a lot of ambient lighting, and it doesn't really look so jagged. Doesn't look as jagged as that's for sure. And just to kind of compare with and without here, and the cool part is we can always blend it. So if I need hair that does have a bit of roughness, we've got that option. So very useful. And again, I'm just super ecstatic about being able to work with the hair this way, because we can do things like split the hair quite easily. I don't know why it's doing that, but okay. And just edit the hair. A lot more flexibility under the hood. My example is breaking down there, so I won't really continue to poke at it. But that's mainly what I worked on over the weekend. Now for today, what I spent a lot of time on was making clothing. So this is my first test of making clothing from scratch, and I think it went pretty well. It's definitely longer in some ways than creating a body, but as long as we're targeting simple clothing, I think I should be able to move pretty fast. Fingers crossed. But I'll show you the program I designed the clothing in. So right here, let me close this. Open recent. Where is it? Recent. Or wait, what? Wants me to import it? That's the OBJ. Just want to open the project, please. Okay, so yeah, here's the clothing. So this program is called Marvelous Designer, and it lets you work with fabric in a way where it's literally like virtual fabric, and you can even create patterns. You get sewing patterns. So if you made an outfit and you actually wanted to make it, you would use this pattern. Excuse me. So pretty cool. Exported that into Blender. Bada boom, right here. So here's the outfit. It's kind of blown apart a little bit. And then we create the simple version on top of it. Boom. Then, once we have the clothing, the high and low, everything's ready to go, we bring it into Painter. Bring it into Painter, right here. And we texture it. So all of the textural detail, I mostly bring it into Marvelous Designer to get fabric that really looks like it's hanging off a body. That's kind of hard to get right, especially like wrinkles in the knees and at the bottom of the legs and stuff. It's just kind of free when you work in a Marvelous Designer. And then we bring it in here, do some rapid texturing. And now we can get to the part that's actually exciting to me. So I did make this fit Nora, so she's in here, and the clothing is kind of built with her in mind. And that's really, for most workflows, I think that'd be kind of a dead end. But what I've designed is a system where we can take the rig, so this is what the body originally used, and we can extract a second rig. That's what the clothing is actually attached to. So this rig, all the bones can move by themselves, and it matches what this main rig, the main rigs I use actually have. But since everything's kind of broken apart, what I can do is take the clothing and the skeleton, set it in front so you can see. So take this skeleton, we don't take Nora, and all these pieces will snap to the other character. So each of the bones snap to the other character's bones, and I basically have a free posing system. And we're going to go over here, go over to Julian. And that's what we've done here. So I brought in my funky skeleton here. Boom. And we just snapped it to the character. And it worked quite well. I have yet to actually get it to move with the character, but I think it would be pretty close to ready for that. And either way, I might just re-weight it to the character. Let's just go ahead and give it a shot. Why not? Okay, well, the arms are floating. But legs are moving, so things are already rigged. The arms flailing up should be quite an easy fix. I just snapped the bones in the wrong spot. One big issue are the breasts. So Nora had breastbones. Our boy Julian here does not have breastbones, so unfortunately we can't quite get them snapped exactly correct yet. In the future, I'll have all characters have breastbones, even if they're not using them, just in order to facilitate this snapping process. It did take some actual editing where I was pushing and pulling things, but overall, it goes from, hey, I need to make a custom outfit to let's just fit this one to this character. And it took about 20 minutes, maybe less. Certainly be faster in the future. But that's the gist. That's the overall. And that's where I ended today. And that is where we'll end this video. Thank you for checking it out. I'll be back on the next one, probably with an update with a new character, would be the hope, or characters with additional outfits, or taking this outfit, putting it on additional characters. But thank you for checking out.